a
I
new
like that.
trajectory.
Right. I like that.
Can I
I like
ask you
that.
something specific about fitness?
Sure, Ronnie.
No,
Nope,
Mara.
that's Mara.
Oh, Mara. Oh,
I'll be
what?
Ronnie today.
Okay. I got
Okay,
Ronnie. There's Mara.
so
Okay.
I was really fit when I went, I would say I was like 34 to like my late 30s because I've always battled weight gain, but what I did was I did this one book by this trainer named Jackie Warner.
Oh,
Um
yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know Jackie? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And it
Right.
worked like a charm, but then as I started to get older, I'm now 48 now.
Yeah.
I'm finding it doesn't work as good. Things are extremely difficult for me to it's just not as easy, and I'm wondering if age and hormones, if this is a legit thing that can make it harder for me to the old bag of tricks doesn't seem to work as well, if at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Well, depending on like what you're following, if you're doing the same thing, and I don't know how her programs are actually designed, that if they're based on what they call periodization. Periodization is when you do something for a certain period of time.
Mhm.
The In the sports industry or as an athlete, you have times of preseason, you have
Mm.
off season, and you've got postseason. So you have different categories of training, and based on that, you take that individual or that athlete and you take them through these different modes of training, so they're not
Mhm.
always breaking down their body, and they're
Mhm.
giving their bodies a chance to rest so they can get ready for the end season when they're having to compete. So based on what you were telling me, I don't know how Jackie has her programs designed, but I know for me, I have taken that principle because I was an athlete. So I take that same principle and I call it the perfect periodization. So I take a client, and for every 4 to 5 weeks,
Mhm.
we'll do a certain routine based on their main goals. You have a foundation.
Mhm.
We all have a foundation that we all need and we want, and not to go over all that, but it's just the basic foundation. It's, we all everybody says, I need to burn body fat, I need to make sure my heart stays healthy because I have this, the pre you know,
Disposition.
cancerous, or we
Yeah.
have predispositions to, whatever's in our family. And then you get to the third thing, everybody's like, oh my God, my core. It's like I got to really work my abs because that's where a lot of fat settles, and that's because of poor posture. So that brings us to the next thing. You need structural strength.
Hmm.
And then now the big thing is, as you get older, we want to feel more balanced and, better
But
posture
it
in our
is true, though, that as you age as a woman, that it does get harder to take those pounds off, right?
It, well, it does, because you said something about hormones.
Yeah.
And that as you get older, once you go past the age of 25 into your 30s, the body is already aging on a progressive amount, that and again, it just depends on the stress factors of your life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what you do, it could be social economic, it could be, eating, it could be all these other factors play a role in that. So you start breaking all that down to find out where can we improve as you get older. But just in general, between 25 and 35, that's when you're going to start noticing the hormone
No, I
effects.
was fine
And
then. I'm talking about now I'm in my late 40s.
yeah, so in
No, but what
48
she's saying is that's when the body
Right.
starts
starts to
its
change, but we
change.
don't realize that because you're living your best life. You're young, you feel good. It's
Mm,
like,
it
I'll
was
worry about 45, 50 when I get there. And so, you put that off, but then when you get there, that's what you're talking about. I have gotten there. I have done this Jackie Warner program, and
mhm.
now it's not serving me. So it's almost like you've
It's a
done
lot
that
harder.
program, your body has gotten accustomed to it, and now it's like you need to kind of change it up. So that's where I was talking about the periodization, to change it up. But like I said, without knowing, does she have a periodization? Once you do, like, this is a
Oh
12-week
yeah.
program, 8-week program,
Don't get me
you.
wrong. I wasn't always doing her program. Like I would stop for a year or two. But my point is when I started up again, it's a lot
Yeah.
harder to stick to it, and it's a lot harder for me in my late
Right.
40s than it was in my mid 30s.
But that's in general. I mean, that's in general at life. I mean, it's like
Right.
even if you have a diet program like Weight Watchers,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
You when you're in your 30s and you go on the Weight Watcher program, you can lose weight faster, You're in your 50s or your 60s,
know what
you're on
happened.
the same Weight Watcher program and you've got to work harder. Maybe in your 30s and 40s you didn't incorporate exercise. The pounds were just flying off because, as she said, you have an active life. But now you're 50, 60, you're settled in a job, you're a little bit more
Yeah.
sedentary,
Yeah.
you don't have
Right.
life, you have a family, you have children, you don't have that
Right.
time to carve for yourself.
It's also
So
the
you're only
hormones.
doing one thing of the program, and that's, cutting out the food. But to have a complete weight loss and a total transformation, it takes a lot of stuff. It's yes, you stop the food, you
That's what I did on the program in my It's always been hard
but
for
who
me.
cares about your 30s? What's done, that's over with, that's 20 years ago. You have to look at what you are now.
20.
You
Well,
are.
almost.
Right.
But you're looking,
10.
you said you're 48.
This
Okay,
was
you
like
said,
I was 35.
okay, so it's more than 10. Okay,
Yeah.
so calm down, all right? You're getting old, lady. I'll tell you right now, you're getting fucking old.
I already
like
know
the rest
that
of us.
every time I look in the
Okay,
mirror.
but my point is, at different stages, there's
Yeah.
different things you need to either add or diminish.
There's
Right,
another thing.
right.
Are you? This is kind of a.
No, I'm not in
intimate question.
menopause, no.
No, but are you
Correct.
perimenopause? Do you
Yeah,
know if you're
probably.
perimenopause? And I would like to add. I'm
Yeah.
58. I'm a little older than you. I went through my metamorphosis after 46. I was not like you, Lisa. You were an athlete. I bowed to you. I was the last one
Oh.
picked at dodgeball. And
Yeah,
whenever
me
we
too.
ran around the tree, I was the last one in. I was not an athlete. And I became a personal trainer at 46 because of health issues. I went to 5 chiropractors, decompression, acupuncture. I tried everything. My hip was hurting, my back was hurting. 2 Western medical doctors wanted to fuse my back. Never got it done. I now have 5 herniated discs. I'm 58 and I'm in better shape than I was in college. And you do have to factor in hormones. Your hormones
Yeah.
change. You start
Right,
going into
right.
that period. I started getting bone loss
Yeah.
because of my hormones. Finally,
Right.
like you said, fast forward, I went to this one chiropractor. I had to 5 chiropractors for 2 years because my husband said, hey, I went to a health fair and I met with somebody. I'm like, but I've been through it all. And, I don't want just medication. He's like, just go. He put me with a corrective exercise specialist personal trainer. Within 2 weeks, I didn't hurt anymore.
Oh my God.
And that's when I got so into it and I started researching and I would always ask her questions. She's like, you have to become a personal trainer. You have to become a personal trainer. I'm like, no, I'm in PR. I mean, who does that at 46? She's like, because you are a walking billboard. If women going into their 50s see you and that you're healthy, they'll believe you. And I took the passion, but I'm like, God, I'm not athletic. And I'm still not athletic, but I'm in better health and all my stats are better. And yes, it is hormones. And your metabolism is also affected by your living area. You live in Los Angeles, she lives in Mississippi. We have things that affect our metabolism in dry cleaning, in what's in the carpeting, in what's in our foods, and what's in our detergent. So there are a lot of factors.
But that's what I'm saying with Lisa, with you, you said, I'm not going to out your age, but you're 57. And granted, you've done this for a long time, but you don't have one exercise regiment for every single person. You tailor it to that person, what their limitations are, you tailor it. And, and like the whole Jackie Warner thing, or even what's that other one? The one we talked about earlier today. It wasn't Jackie.
Jillian Michaels.
Jillian Michaels.
Jillian Michaels with the
she has variety.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you get a book. You get a book, and that's one part of the program. If you could afford the Jillians or the Jackies, you're going to get a more tailored thing that is going to be for you. And I will bet you'd probably get better results that you're comfortable with.
Oh,
but
if I one-on-one with Jackie.
that's what I'm saying. But you put out a book
I
to
can't.
reach the masses. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to respond to that.
It really
Lisa,
works
if
good
you
that
if
time.
you had
That's
your
right.
8 exercises, Lisa, and you videotaped them for me, I would take that on my phone and follow it in the gym. And that's what I look at all these YouTube videos of, like you said, no offense to anybody, but I see so many YouTube videos out there of just girls that are skinny, but they're not fit. And they're like, this is how you do abs and this is how you do a plank. I'm like, that's not how you do a plank. And so I love to follow with my phone in the gym, like, what would I feel like doing now? You did that, I'd follow you.
Right. Okay. Well,
Because
that's great.
people want
because,
variety, you know?
Right,
And they want to be
right.
able to go on their phone, and then you can start a membership. Remember Tammy Lee Webb, Buns of Steel?
Yeah.
She still has her membership club.
Oh
Emily
yeah,
Webb.
there were
Oh
so
my
many.
And it's
Buns
all
of Steel.
online.
Yeah.
And it's
Buns
so
of
online.
Steel. That's right. I think there were different series to
Yep.
that.
Buns
the
of
I don't know how
Powers?
many there were, but I'm
Susanna
like,
Powers?
wow,
Oh, no,
that's
she,
pretty cool. You know?
Sorry.
So, but that is so true. I mean, so it's like Mara, what you were talking about, like with hormones, it's like you draw attention to the stage that you are right now, and so it's kind of like what I did. I went to now these nurse practitioners are getting into this hormone specialty because a lot of the OBGYNs, they don't really want to mess with it because it's kind of like some people are scared about hormone therapy and
Right.
and take an extra little testosterone or
Yeah.
balance estrogen because this is kind of, I'm not going to say it's new agey, but it's new lifestyle medicine that a lot of people want to do, but they still don't really have the correct formula because everybody's so different.
Well, also, Lisa, it's something. It all goes into Western medicine and that FDA approval. If it's not going to make money for some drug company or some
Yeah.
lobbyist, that's
Right.
why naturopaths and acupuncturists and Eastern medicine really
Right.
isn't taken seriously. And it's like they're like in the mystery, like, well, how do you know how much to take? And the Western medicine
Right.
continues to propagate that mystery and fear behind
Right.
it.
So then what happens, what people do when you have this fear is kind of like, you can, you have all these exercises, and at the time, Women's Health and Shape Magazine, everybody sees all these exercises like, oh, I guess I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. And it's like you get inundated with so many different things. Then you're like, I don't know what to do. And then what happens? The
You don't
fear
do it.
tells you what? I don't want to do anything.
Right.
And so that's
And also,
when,
let me add, this society, at least the states, everything is immediate gratification. So if you do it for 2 weeks and nothing's happening, you're on a diet for 2 weeks, you're doing an exercise program 2 weeks, and it's not working, automatically it's not immediate gratification because that's the media, that's how this works.
Right.
It's like, I give up, I'm not doing it, it's not working for me.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. Because I think consistency is the word or the key word to anything in life. I mean, so you have to take consistency of doing something. You just got to find that something that fits, your lifestyle. So it's kind of like what Ronnie was talking about. I'm getting ready to do this new longevity is it's a pitch word that I think Gaye Ann, we were talking about the blue zones.
Yep. There's by the way, there's a documentary.
Yeah, I know. It's
Documentary.
good.
It's about the blue zone, and like it's
Right.
Loma Linda's one of the cities. I'll have Lisa explain it,
yeah,
but
for
it's Loma
California.
Linda, it's Japan, it's Sardinia, and it's another. Explain what
Right.
the blue zone is, Lisa.
But the blue zone is just different regions that this particular guy, Dan Boteller, if I'm saying his name right, but anyway, he toured these different 5 blue zones where centurions, where you live to be 100.
Oh,
or
I saw
more.
that on
Or
Netflix.
100.
Yeah, on Netflix.
And they're like, so he's trying to kind of figure out in these different areas, what is the common factor? And based on that, it's kind of like what we're searching for with our life. It's like kind of like that fountain of youth. It's like, what is the common factors? What is everybody doing that I can start incorporating into my life to make me feel I'm living my best life?
But you know what's funny is like Sardinia. I'm not Sardinian, but I'm Italian.
It's
It's a carb vegetarian diet. It's carb and vegetables and meat occasionally. And yet you go to Loma Linda, which it is the Adventists, and pretty much the Adventists are on like a vegetarian diet.
Right.
So, and like I really don't remember the other what the other ones were. Asia.
Well, Okinawa, Japan, and then Greece. Is it Akira, Greece? But all that to say, in all those different areas, it's like, it's how you're raised. I mean, I'm raised in the South, and I think a lot of people, when they think of the South, they think of barbecue,
Deep
fried
fried.
catfish,
Yep.
Fried. Yeah.
chicken, sweet tea, which I'm drinking tea, but it's half and half.
Right.
But it's where you're raised and how you accommodate that food in your body. And it's like, whatever your body gets used to. But it's like with anything, and just to kind of do these blue zones, it's like with anything, if you eat carbs, I mean, they say if you eat too many carbs, you kind of feel bloated, you get Crohn's disease, celiac disease, you get all these diseases. Well, we all are going to have a propensity to get something, but it's the balance of what you do.
Right.
I think I liked where, I think it was in Okinawa, when they said you eat till you're 80% full. So what does that tell you? You don't overeat.
Right.
So I can eat fried chicken. I'm not going to get any weight from eating fried chicken. You know why? Because I'm not going to eat 3 pieces of fried chicken.
Right.
When people ask how do I not gain weight or how do I lose weight, it's like I get them off diet. Stop dieting. The basic thing is eat. Don't overeat. Enjoy.
Exactly. Like that's true. When I lost a lot of weight, and I used to be a size 16, so I'm an 8 now. So, but I've got that I've got that like curvy Italian body, and I'm 5'1", so I feel fat, but I know I'm not. I've seen people my age and I look way better. But it doesn't matter. But the point, what I'm saying is, when I lost the weight after going on diet after diet and getting disappointed because it wasn't working fast enough, I decided my whole thing wasn't even, I even hate exercise. I hate it. It was portion control. And so everyone's like, well, did you eat ice cream? I said, you know what? When I wanted ice cream, I always had a pint in the freezer. When I wanted ice cream, I'd go in, because I was like living alone at the time. I would go in and get a teaspoon, and I would savor every ounce of that 1 teaspoon, because I believe that it all is up here. And diets don't work because it's forbidding you to do things, and it depends on your personality type. And nobody can tell me I can't do something. So it sets you, I think a diet sets you up for failure because it's telling you can't. So when you can't, what do you want? You want to do. Right. So even like McDonald's French fries, they're my favorite. Okay, so
I love French fries.
So like I would do a drive-through when I wanted McDonald's French fries, and I'd get the Happy Meal, the little one, and I would eat a few, and when my taste buds went directly to here, that whole mechanism, when that was satisfied. Then I didn't feel like I wanted to eat it. I didn't guilt myself. I just never stopped myself in indulging in things I wanted to do. And I lost, 45 pounds.
What I also loved about that documentary, The Blue Zones, is that he went into lifestyles of these people that lived to be 100, and so much of it was like they hardly were on a phone. I don't think they were ever on the internet, and they had all these close connections with each other, and they would sit around and play games and charades and all this stuff, and just love each other's company.
Yeah. No, less stress, exactly. And they walked places.
Yeah.
They walked. So they didn't really exercise in a gym, but they
were gardening all day.
They were gardening.
They were doing
minimum.
Enough intensity, going up steps, just enough intensity that it wasn't vigorous, but it was.
But they also smoked. Some of them smoked. Some of them drank. They
but
did.
Connection was so important.
But the point is,
10 packs a day.
No, but they did it for, if they were 100, they did it for like maybe 80 years. You know what I mean? And they didn't have cancer or anything like that. So it really is about the quality of life. And in this country, Europe is so different. I mean, I've been there so many times for work, but it's like outside of the United States. I haven't been to Asia. I know it's sort of like a machine in China, and so I know they don't have all of that. But in the United States, it's never rest. It's work to get, and then you retire at 65, 67, 69, 70, whatever the frickin' sliding scale is now for whatever thing. And, when you're 70 and you've worked your whole life with stress and this and that and not really taking care of yourself, well, at 70, there are no golden years. You're fucked. I mean, bottom line, you're fucked.
Especially when you don't have friends and you don't have, you're isolated and lonely.
You know, so
Right.
Gaye Ann said something about portion control. My clients always had resistance to counting calories. Like, okay, let's do it whatever
Oh my
way you
God.
want. Portion control
Oh
is
my
counting
God.
calories. It's just like that we have such a bad relationship with counting calories.
Right.
Eyeball it. You know that banana's 100, but bottom line is like you know if you're eating more than you need.
Yeah.
But do you ladies remember? I almost said girls, but
I'll take it.
our plates.
Golden girls.
When we moved all our parents' stuff out of their home and we were packing up dishes, and I remember those dishes with the birds, the blue dishes.
Yeah, yeah.
They were so smaller to what we get now at restaurants. Plates are humongous.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh yeah.
Well, how about if you go to a restaurant? Forget about what they're charging, which is crazy. But you go to a restaurant, you know, like when did all you can eat buffets come? I mean,
Oh,
like
my God.
first of all, I won't eat at a buffet because I find it even before COVID very unsanitary because I people watch and I see people sneeze over the shit, kids picking their fucking nose, and then they go grab shit. So I'm nope, I will not do buffet. But then you just sit there and observe. It's a waste of money for me to go to buffet for a lot of reasons.
I love the culinary experience. I like to be waited on.
Me
Yep.
too. That's why you go
But I don't
out.
think it's a Southern thing. I think we all, as women, I mean, I love to be waited on.
Me too.
You know, so I love the finer things of life. And these restaurants, I mean, buffets, it's almost like
Gluttony.
that is the farm to table right there.
Yeah.
We're the little lifestyle animals going in to eat the trough.
And you
I
mentioned
like
the United
that.
States, but in the United States, we are mug city. We are all in mugs. You still go back to South America or United States. I'm not sure about you. In Asia, you still use a coffee cup or a tea
Well,
cup.
what's wrong with the mug?
Because we
It's
drink
more.
more, and all of a sudden we want more. We
Well,
have
wait
these-
a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a
well,
minute.
it's-
Wait a minute. I mean, but what's the point? Like, I don't, like drink. I mean, not alcohol, but
Yeah.
drinking.
Fattening
Like,
Starbucks drinks.
that's shit. Okay, but
Yeah.
if I'm going to sit here and make, a cup of coffee at the house or a cup of tea, I'm going to maybe make 2 cups. So because I don't want to get up and down and up and down, I will make a mug of tea or a mug of coffee. That's 2 cups of
Right.
coffee. I know I take that mug. I know anything more than 2 cups of coffee with my personality, I'm going to be jittery and you better watch out. You know what I mean?
You know that, but then now that this has led to the ventis at Starbucks, the frappes
They're
with
all
the
the
whipped
same
cream,
size.
and they're all huge.
Right.
You
Isn't
know what I
it
mean?
weird?
Because we're as I think someone said, and I can't remember. We're in a state of gluttony right now. It's
We've
I
always
was
been
thinking,
in
you
this
know what?
state.
I'll add to that. Getting back to like what I do as far as the training goes, because and I think in general, it's almost like we're being sabotaged.
Yep.
It's like every day, if it's not political sabotage, religious sabotage, friendship sabotage, someone or something is always going to come into our life to what? To bring it back to what are you going to do?
Yeah.
right.
What do you do for you?
Yeah.
And that's what, kind of in a way I have my clients. It's like, where are you right now? What is your life dictating to you? Or what do you want to do with your life? And based on that, you got all these things coming at you that can inundate you with like, I am so confused. Well, if you're confused, then step back, think about it, hire a lifestyle coach, hire someone or a personal trainer, hire someone to set you down to say, tell me about what's going on in your life right now.
Right, but let me stop you. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to have to interrupt you because that is advice for people who are privileged that have the money, and they want to know, people that aren't privileged that can afford that, okay? They say, why are people that are below the line of poverty or poverty level, why are they so obese? Why are they so this? Well, it's because the government gives them food, gives them stuff, but it's a bunch of crap that they're eating.
Yeah.
And, instead of, giving them good food to eat, they're giving them everything with preservatives and bullshit. And then, they can't afford gym memberships. They can't afford trainers.
Yeah.
So, so how do they, and it's,
You know what I would do, Gaye Ann, with that?
Yep.
That because what you're saying right there, that's what infuriates me because I'm thinking, how hard back in the day, our parents, well, again, I can only speak for the South. They had etiquette classes. They had home economic classes that taught people how to do, like, I think I had a class called Family Life, and they taught you how to eat, and they taught you about family, and they taught you about how to, sit at the table. And I call it Life 101. I feel that if they had more of those type of classes in junior high or high school, because they always say, well, it's the parent's fault. Well, if they're working 2 or 3 jobs, speaking of a poverty level, if they're working 2 or 3 jobs, they don't have time to like take time out for the kids.
Right.
Although they want to, but they can't.
Right.
And so and I don't want to put it back on the state, but in the school systems, they could offer these classes, and they could hire. I mean, I know about the gym teachers, like, well, exercise is so important. Well, exercise is, but the other factors of life are important. Yeah. How to eat good food, how to balance a check-in book when you get in high school.
Right.
All these things, they should bring that back. And if they do bring that back, then more people will be educated in values of life. And if you value life, you will take that and you'll do the right thing with your life. And yeah, I mean, I could be hired as like,
look, a school, to be honest, a school could hire you. If
they wouldn't make much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I'm
I have done that with schools. I have done that. I've gone in to teach the basics of fitness, the basics.
But it's not a program. It's not a
one program. I go in as a guest speaker.
Exactly, and that's the difference. I mean, I went to Catholic school, okay, and it was very regimented, and yes, we got, we were taught all of the stuff that you were saying that happened. I don't remember what we called it, but we had those lessons, and so it made a difference. But somehow that fell off of the curriculum and have made it important. And it's really sad.
Money.
But the thing is, they cut money. Yeah. Like, what do they cut? When schools have to cut programs, they cut music, art.
Yeah, I know.
They've cut all the things that are really, and like, music. Like, okay, when I was in school, not that I had a bad background, I had a really good life, but, my passion and my escape was music, musical theater, acting class. I did that. And that was like my escape, my getaway, and I enjoyed it. Plus a million other freaking clubs that I belonged to. But they keep cutting that away. So you've got of course these kids are bored at school, because there's nothing there that they enjoy. And really, who really loves to learn?
Some kids love math.
Yeah, and those are the ones that are bullied. Those are the ones that are bullied.
Those are the ones I can't relate to.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, it's well-rounded. That's what Gaye Ann's saying is, I sucked at PE, but I looked forward to it because it's getting out of the classroom.
Right, exactly.
I wasn't great at math, but I wanted to be decent at it, and I love the arts, not because I was going to be a musician, but you need a variety. You need to explore.
You do.
You need a break.
Yeah, because as you do get older, what you're learning when you're younger, that is the foundation. You're taking that into your older age. And if you don't have that basic foundation, I mean, again, I think going back to the Blue Zone, it's about a routine.
Right.
You got to have a routine to do something in life, to make yourself accountable. If you can't hire the trainer, you got to be accountable to yourself and what you're learning through your stages of life, through school, going into an older adulthood. You've got to have like a basis to work from. And
but also, if you go back to that and go into inward and spirituality and self-esteem, if you don't value who you are, you don't love yourself, you have a low self-esteem, you are insecure, you're in fear, and that and you perpetuate that, then guess what? There is no hope for you. So you don't have the gumption, you don't have the passion to do anything because maybe you were told when you were in school you're stupid. You know, maybe you're not talented, or, you know, in families, you know, you're not worth it, you're worthless, or the father abused the children. You know, it's again, so much conditioning that begins in infancy and teenage that really that really sort of dictate who you are. But some people can get out of that. Some people, you know, they work on themselves.
Well, you just said they don't have a reason. It sounded to me like they don't have a reason to propel. They don't have a reason to live.
They have to get themselves out of that mess.
And
themselves.
so we need a purpose. Each human being needs a purpose. I mean, yes, you had pressure of always being like Miss Mississippi, Miss this, Miss that, but you had a purpose. You know, and now you're living your purpose. Everyone who thrives is because they have a purpose. So people need meaning for life.
And we all were fortunate in the way we were raised. We were given opportunities to find our passion. Our family supported our passions, even though they were crazy, some of mine. But we had that support. We had that love. We had that balance. We had that. And, you know, because of what has happened, how the world has evolved, it has taken the focus out of that, you know.
Definitely, and the whole comparison thing,
and the whole comparison
you see on the internet, like on Instagram, and
I mean, it's become backbiting.
It's not even true. Most of it's not even.
I mean, think about it. Women, look, why do men excel? Men excel in this town because they're blowing smoke up their ass, patting each other on the back, and they're arrogant. Okay, women, they do that to a point, and then if it's a little bit competitive, they'll stab you in the back, they'll talk you down, and that is, unfortunately, I don't know why. And again, I think women would be, and we've talked about this numerous times, that women would be stronger if we just stuck together instead of, you know, like lift each other up, not bring each other down. And you rarely see that in guys. And if guys do it, they do it as sport.
Well, like Lisa said, you either idolize somebody and want to be like them, or you gossip about them and bring them down, cancel them.
Yeah.
Well, if someone's insecure and jealous about you, you know, and that's in work. I mean, it's in life. You know, it's not a good place to be in. And then, you know, like for me, you know, I've excelled at work and stuff like that, and it hasn't been easy. You know, I've had people try to backbite me and stuff like that. And, you know, it sort of sets you back. And then you go into a pity party. But as a Capricorn, I sit there and go, you know what? I'm not going to let them get me down. I know who I am. So, you know, you can put me down. But then when I come back, I rise. And not only do I rise, I'm 8 steps ahead of you now.
Right. And I think going back, I guess that's that part of the human, I guess, what's the word? God-given or divine-given innate sense of our energy on this earth. Eventually, we all get inspired at some point in our life to search, to search for what is healthy for us, what is a sound job for us. It's like, as far as your gift, you have to find out what is my gift that I can contribute to society. So once you find out what your gift is, and then your friendships are like seasons. They can come and go. And then you got to decide what friend is going to be with me as I go through my life. And then there are friends that come in that inspire you to get off your ass.
Right.
And so
those are the ones that you keep, because my biggest pet peeve are people complain.
Right.
And they're complacent. That the word complacency, settling.
Right.
Like no one should ever fucking settle in their life, because you have to, you know, and I don't want to be judgmental. I'm not saying if you settle, you settle. I mean, that's good on you. I don't give a shit. But for me, you know, at least for me, I always want to grow. I want to learn more. I want to be enlightened. I don't want to be complacent. You know, I want to question. I mean, my friends say that it drives. Well, obviously, this is why I'm on the show, because I ask a lot of questions. But my thing from a kid was why? And it's annoying as fuck to the person. But it's not annoying to the right person because
Right.
you are saying,
Mover and a shaker.
yep,
Yeah.
you're a mover and a shaker. And it's like, I want to learn because this is my point of view right now. But my point of view isn't the end all fucking be all. So enlighten me on your points of view because maybe I will have a different breath and a different take on a situation. It's all about growing. You know, I don't want to be poor. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I want more to life, and I don't want to settle.
Right.
God
And that's
damn
how I
it.
feel. And I get you. And that's how I feel. You know, I love Mississippi, but what happens, every state, not just Mississippi, but every state's known for something. They have a bad and a good.
Right.
It's just like a person. We have good traits, we have bad traits. We have strong traits, we have weak traits. So it's like for Mississippi, for me, Mississippi has served me. I mean, this is my root. My interesting story is that my last name is Newman, but you know, you start diving into your family history. You know, I was wondering why I craved bread and butter so much. Well, I come to find out that my grandfather was a Brevard in South Mississippi. He was adopted by the Newman family. So he's, you know, the French, you know,
Yeah,
came down
Brevard.
to Mississippi, you know. So I'm a Brevard, not a Newman. So it's almost like I feel like I'm adopted. So, you know, it's like I learned all this stuff as I go about me, like why I crave certain things. Now, I mean, that could be just like, because now I think I'm French. And I tried to learn French and it was hardest down in But anyway, but there's some Indian heritage here too. But I love all this melting pot that Mississippi has brought to me, and the history, the blues, the, you know, even the racial discrimination, the black and white. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter how long this goes on for. Mississippi gets blamed, but there are more states. But it's like we embrace each other. It's like a
Well, it's comfort.
almost
It's a comfort
like two
zone.
children still fighting.
But it's but Lisa, it's a comfort zone. It's a comfort zone. You know, you could leave and come back and it'll still be the same, and it's comforting. Okay, it's what you know. And the thing is, you know, when I grew up in New Jersey, and you know, it's a small state. It's very densely populated, but it's a small state. But from a very young age, I knew I wanted to leave New Jersey because I wanted to do greater things. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, but I know, and at a very young age, I was telling people I'm going to move to California. Never been here, but I was going to move to California because, you know, I outgrew that state. I outgrew that mindset. I wanted bigger and better, and I wanted opportunities that New Jersey would never give me. So I took the chance and moved here, you know, 3,000 miles on my own to carve a space for me. And you know, people go, "Oh God, that was brave." I'm like, no. When you have a passion, you have a passion and you have a direction, you aren't scared. Because again, why do people hold themselves back in life? Whether it's, you know, why are you still in a job? Again, I told you this today, Lisa. I'm in my job 34 years. I still love it. I am not bored. You know, that's rare. You know, so, you know, longevity in something, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a friendship, whether it's in a job, you know, it really is. Does that still spark your passion?
Right.
And if it doesn't, then you're complacent, you're going to be unhappy, but you don't, everybody, you never have to settle. You don't have to have fear hold you back.
Well, there is one thing I would love to point out. Somebody was asking me the other day, because I'm life coaching, of the difference between, we got into a discussion between meaningful life and happy life. And often you can be doing something very meaningful. And your vocation, see, you keep saying job to me, you're doing your vocation. You're totally doing your vocation. And you're good at it and you love it. So it's become your vocation. But you could be doing something meaningful in advocacy or something, and you're not necessarily happy. And you can be happy and content and complacent, and you're happy. You're happy. You're not unhappy. But you don't feel like your life is meaningful. It's great when you can merge the two and you are both. And you're not always going to be happy when you're doing something meaningful. You're not always going to be doing something meaningful when you're happy.
But let's be honest, okay? Somebody who says they're happy 24/7, A, is on drugs, or that makes them happy, because that's bullshit and fantasy. You know, you're people aren't happy 24/7. Even rich people who you think, why the hell would they not be happy? They're not happy. So, you know,
what they say, it's an inside job, right?
Right.
It's an inside, how you feel inside.
It's who you are.
Body
It's
connection.
who you are. I mean, I'm a big proponent of therapy. You know what I mean? I like it. I go to it. And it's you know, and it's funny because for me, therapy is, I get a forum that's non-judgmental, and I could say, this is what's going on. And a good therapist will never tell you what to do. Never. If they are telling you what to do, then they're not a good therapist. It's really kind of sick, actually.
They become a guru.
Yeah, and that's sick.
Dangerous.
That's dangerous.
Right.
So you should have to come up with the plan yourself.
You got it. Right.
You know, and they should engage you. They should engage. It's like asking because I have a major in psychology. So they are supposed to like have you spew and then have buzzwords or something so you can think of it, because you know what may work for me for this situation is not going to work for you, is not going to work for you, and is not going to work for you. So a good therapist allows you to come up with the plan that's going to work for you, that's going to keep you mentally healthy, period. But to be happy or perfect, no such thing. Delusional.
Right. That is true. That is so true. It is. And
all right, so let's do something fun.
Right.
Really is fun. Lisa, one thing that makes you happy.
One thing that makes you happy. Let's see. My gosh. One thing that makes me happy.
Not the end all be all. You could have a laundry list, but just what came to your mind first was like, what? Don't overthink it, Capricorn.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, because of course I got a swimming pool. I love water. So I love being by the water.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a swimming pool. So it's like thinking about, Gail, it's like going down to boat. It's like, I love being by the ocean and just kind of taking all that in, something bigger than me.
Okay.
That brings me into, kind of centers me.
Okay, Ronnie, one thing makes you happy.
First thing that entered my mind was cuddling, whether it's like me nuzzling into my husband's neck or me cuddling with the pillow or me cuddling with my kitties on the sofa. I love
I have
cuddling.
cats too, by the way. I used to have Great Danes, but I have cats.
Well,
That's a difference.
That's a big difference. Mara.
Oh, there's no question. Besides my cat, the number one thing is creating art.
Oh yeah, cool.
Me?
Yeah,
besides my job, I love this show. I love doing this. This is something that I've always felt. I mean, I like being, I'm not shy and I'm not an egoist or a narcissist, but I like being upfront. I think with all my experience and my intelligence and everything that makes me who I am at 60 years, I have a lot to offer people, and I think through my experiences, I can, help people.
You sure can.
You know,
help me.
Oh, thank you. But I mean, that's I just love to be there for people. I love to be there for people. I love to be I love
a contributor, Gaye Ann.
a caregiver. I like to take care of people.
Gaye Ann, and I will say this, what you're saying, I would have said the same thing. I have a passion for what I do, and to do the same thing like you're doing, working. What I do, it's not a job. Going back to the vocation that Ronnie was talking, I love to train people. I love to help. Even if I never made another dime, I love to help people and to elevate people to that next step of their life, or to feel like I'm living my life.
Yeah.
And I would have said that, but maybe that's a Southern thing for me to hold back on my own personal endeavor. And you said something about a narcissistic thing. I mean, I'm a powerful woman, but I feel strong. I mean, when I was in sports, I was the captain of the team. It's like I wanted to be cheered for. And nowadays, if you hear it, it's like, I want a cheerleader. Somebody say, you're narcissistic. Are you a narcissist? And and being a personal trainer or being a head coach for somebody else, somebody would be like, "You got control issues." So is that a Southern thing that I
No,
feel like?
no, no, honey,
woman
honey,
thing.
it's a woman thing. And if anybody's saying that you're narcissistic, that it's a control thing, it's because of their own insecurity and their own jealousy, and that's personal. What does it say? There's an adage, and of course I really suck at these things, but it's the thing that says, don't change for anyone because it's not about you. Their reaction to you is about it's about them. So don't take it personally.
Oh, right.
You're like a mirror of them, and it's their frustration or whatever. I mean, friends make fun of me. They don't ever call me a narcissist, but, they say, boy, you're self-promoting. Well, you know what? Why not? I've earned it. I'm 60 fucking years old. I am in a wonderful, knock on wood, place in my life. It's, and yes, I'm from the generation where you don't it's like bragging. Why are you bragging about yourself? Well, it's not. I feel that like yourself, all of us here, we can add something to the table, and why shouldn't we be able to be, hey, look, I'm good.
That's why I love Mary. Oh no, she wasn't the one who wrote it. The poem about who am I to shine. I was going to say Marianne Williamson, but I don't know. Do you know that poem? Who am I to shine? Who are you? And she goes, Ashley, who are you not to shine? I think it was Nelson Mandela.
Like Mary Williamson. It does sound like
but I think Nelson Mandela actually wrote.
But the point is, it's like, keep on shining. Keep on shining. And you know what? It's, look, I'm a publicist by nature. I mean, that's really what I do. So, I'm used to promoting people. That's what I do. But you know what? It's okay to promote yourself. Of
course.
I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm not going to promote about something that I'm not. See, there's a big difference. I'm not going to promote about something that I'm not. That's hypocrisy. And that's deceiving someone. But if it's something that I know I'm good at, why not express that? Because it is about tone, and it is also about humility. You're not going to be an asshole about it, You're just, it's just going to literally come up in conversation. Look, I know I'm smart. I know I'm really smart. But I don't have to tell people, hi, I'm really smart. But by the vocabulary that I use, for what I bring to the table, just, people know. So you don't have to bang it over the head. It's just be who you are.
I do have to tell people I'm smart. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's like Lisa. I mean, Lisa, even for you. I mean, you don't have to tell people all of your, your repertoire and your resume. You go to a class with you, and you have to, and you don't have to say one thing.
Right.
One thing.
Well, remember the old quote? I can't remember who said it. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
And so I pride myself on that. It's like, you hold back and you want to hear, where other people are in their life. And you want to, help them and to make them feel good. And I do. I want to continue doing that.
But isn't it the best thing, like for you and for Ronnie? I mean, because you do people things, and even you with your art.
I do this for myself.
I know, but you put it out there. I mean, it doesn't matter who these people are, but because it's a vocation for y'all. No, not y'all. Where the hell am I from? I'm from New Jersey.
It's catchy.
It's catchy.
Look, it's coming through.
But my father was stationed in Arkansas if in the service. But my point is I don't know what my point is. Thank you, menopause. But the thing is sort of like you care.
That's what you're talking about.
You care. And you don't really, people don't have to lavish you with gifts. Isn't it just I've always said, when you do something for somebody, when you just do it, and they're not using you, you're offering, you do it. The most important thing, the only thing that I think is just what I love to hear is when you do something for someone and they just say thank you. It's gratitude. And gratitude for me is so important.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah,
it's hard.
it is.
I know. This is your show, so we have it. I'm trying to see the time. Are we over?
You just, you know what? I'll worry about the time.
Okay. Sorry. No, I just had.
Right.
And this is the last time you're going to talk, so get it out.
Okay.
Okay.
You made me think of something. It's hard to sometimes, yes, you're grateful and you show gratitude and you care about people, but what about when you don't like someone and still you want to be a loving person? And the base love I can give to people I don't like or disrespect is at least the human respect. I will not harm them. I mean, that's like the bottom snake level love. It's like I can love people. I'm not going to hate. I don't want to be that person.
I can't hate
with
anybody.
hate people. I can at least not hurt them and respect them as a human being and leave them
Look,
alone.
here's the deal. And number one, you don't physically hurt them.
Exactly.
Okay. Number two,
Or in any way.
Wait, no, already. Number two, like you don't physically hurt them. Number two, you do not wish them harm.
Exactly.
You don't wish them. You always wish them well. You know.
I just won't engage.
It's not even about engaging. I mean, like there are people. Trust me, there are people that I have to work with that I don't particularly like, and I'm sure they don't like me. But there's an amount of respect and professionalism and human decency to be cordial.
Yep.
And engage. And if you cannot do that, then you got some issues. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying you have to love everybody, but the word hate, it's so funny because they say, what's the
opposite of love?
but it's not hate.
No, it's
not.
indifference.
It's indifference.
Mm-hmm.
And indifference is the worst. When you have love, there's passion. If you hate somebody,
Passion.
there's passion in that.
Mm-hmm.
Indifference is empty.
Yeah.
Empty.
Right.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
when you
what-
say you
and
had
that's what
respect,
causes fear within somebody is that there's something indifferent or there's something different about you that they don't know how to relate to. And it's any kind of societal situation, if it's a gender identity or if it's a
Racial.
preference, if it's racial, there's just such an indifference or a difference about you than me. But that's where, like you're saying, just embrace that. I mean, and that's not even a Southern thing of hospitality or etiquette. Just be kind and just, like love your neighbor as you would, love yourself or, do unto others as you. Now, look, this is the Southern coming out.
You
of
could
me.
hear it right now. Where's your Bible?
I
Where's
hear
your
the-
Bible?
I hear
Baptist,
Blanche
but I
Devereaux.
Yeah,
transferred
I
over
do.
to this-
Streetcar named Desire.
Well, I was talking about Blanche Devereaux from Golden Girls.
Oh, well,
You were talking about Blanche
Well,
Devereaux.
Blanche DuBois from
Yeah.
Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, a generational gap there.
No, I still knew who you meant.
Yes, you are.
Still magnolias.
Yep.
But to embrace
I will
that.
always be the Shirley MacLaine in Steel Magnolias.
I never
Oh,
saw
see,
that.
see,
Never
she
saw
got
that
one.
movie.
Everybody thought she was so mean, but
Well,
she really was a good person.
She was sarcastic. I love the
Yeah.
sarcasm.
you were more her best friend from what I see. Olympia Dukakis' role.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
Olympia. Yeah, maybe I'll go with
Should I
Olympia.
Should I watch that
Like
movie? I
that,
think it's
right.
really
You should.
depressing, right?
No, it's hard.
She dies at the end.
Yeah.
But if you're prepared for that, the chemistry with those women were fabulous.
Okay.
Right, they were right. It was that was a good movie, and that took a little bit of different personalities of a Southern kind of a orientation of what you got from the South. I think it covered it pretty good. So,
For me, Dolly Parton would always be the poster child of the South. I mean, I've worked with her. I've met her. She's cooked for
She's
me.
nice.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she seems so
is.
nice.
and she has stayed. You have to say she has stayed consistent with her roots.
Yep.
Yep.
Consistency. She's always been consistent. It just seems like that she would be like kind of your, somebody you call. I'm having a bad day, or I'm having an exciting day. Who do I call? I like to call Dolly today.
Yeah, and she'll say, "Come over. I'll cook
over.
for you."
Like, I had some tea for you. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, believe it or not, Lisa, remember I told you how fast an hour and a half would go? Well, we're here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I sure have enjoyed it.
Well, as always, you're always welcome to come back when you write your book or when you go global. Let us know. You're always welcome. And if you're in LA, and it happens to be a Friday, you're always welcome to join us, not as a guest, but as, part of the table, as part of our family now. So welcome.
Great. Thank you. Thank y'all. It
Thank
was
you
nice to
so
meet
much.
y'all.
Such a pleasure.
Don't hang up yet because
Hey,
we're
same
not.
here.
Don't hang
Okay.
up. So,
I will.
everyone, thank you for joining us between the sheets. Usually the first and third Friday of every month. Follow me on Instagram, QTE Brett, and the YouTube page. You'll see all the shows. You can go to the UBN Facebook page also to see our shows. You know what? Just be safe and be well. Don't get into any trouble. Yom Kippur is this weekend, Sunday to Monday. So Yom Kippur, atone your sins, because I know I will be. Anyway, be safe, be well. Ronnie, where can people find you?
RonnieLoLifeCoach.com, Ronnie Low Life Coach. Find me on Facebook and on Instagram.
Mara?
MaraShane.com is my website. You can also find me on Mara_Shane on Instagram and Mara Shane Art on Instagram.
Lisa, where can people find you? What's your website and your handle on Instagram or any of those other things?
Yeah, well, you can pull me up on Facebook. Everything's under construction right now because I'm going to that different phase of my life to rebrand. But I have perfectbodytraining.com, which, like I said, right now is some old pictures, but I'm going to revamp all that. So just stay
Yay.
tuned. Stay tuned.
Well, FYI, we will be on October 5th. So we will be on October 5th.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tony.
Wait, October 5th is a Thursday.
Oh, whatever it is. I hate iPhones.
Oh,
anyway,
six.
they have their
October 6th.
calendars all fucked up. But I wanted to say thank you, everybody. Are we
Thank
still on,
you.
Tony? Oh, we're still on. Okay, 'cause the music left. See you all soon. The first Friday in October. What?
6th.
The 6th of October. Thank you. And I wanted to say something else, but I guess we're done. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
I will see you in a couple of weeks. I will see you in a
Absolutely.
couple of
Look forward
weeks,
to celebrating
lady.
your birthday.
I know.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much and have a good night. Namaste, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Namaste.
Bye.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.